What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Badwolf. All right, so this is going to be like part 3 of Black Law's Dictionary, or part 2, or wherever I left off. So, yeah, some of you guys have said, you watch my videos, you love them, and I'm kind of zany and whatever else, kind of wild. Well, yeah, what do you want me to do? Sit here and be like, all right, class. Today we're going to be learning about additional definitions for the Black Law's Dictionary. Today, amalgamation. Yeah, right. No. God, Jesus, Lord. No. That's also why I don't make videos that are like 30, 40, and 50 minutes long, or 5 hours or any of that stuff. Nobody wants to sit around in 5 hours. I don't know. All right, so once again, guys, hit that bell, like, subscribe, because it's your boy, the wild man, the bad wolf himself. Now, you have watched me do other videos on definitions, but as you see by the little yellow tabs, and the one that just fell out, that's what she said. Oh, not in public, don't say that, it's private stuff. All right, so we're going to cover some more definitions, so don't go anywhere. Don't forget to hit that bell, like, subscribe once again. Ladies, you guys got to catch up with the men. I see a lot of you guys watching the information on my channel. Oh, yeah, I see you. Yeah, yeah, all the time. Google, Yahoo, or YouTube Analytics tells me all the time, y'all be coming back, but not subscribing. Just subscribe, help me out. I got to catch up to you guys are supporting other people out there, agents and whatever else, and you're not supporting me. Y'all better just, right, there you go. That subscribe button. I'm not even forcing you to join the Wolf Pack and give me money monthly to support me doing this. I mean, but you should, though. But, all right, so let's get going. All right, so in these definitions, key definitions you guys should know. All right, so this might be a longer video, all right, for real. It might be like 20 minutes, maybe even 30. We're gonna see. But these are key words in Black Law's Dictionary. So for some of you people who don't have the book, that's why I'm doing this. I'm not going to go through the whole book and cover every word, just the key things I find, and only when I find a number of them. So if you are setting your cases up and doing whatever else, that's why you need to know what's going on, so you can use these words in your documents, your affidavits, and whatever else. Okay. All right, so demonetization. Now, we've talked about monetization, where you're changing something into a credit or type of currency or money. Demonetization is the disuse of metal in coinage, a withdrawal of value of metal as money, as in the gold in the United States. Because remember, in 1933, they took away all of our gold and got us off the gold standard. We got demonetized. Like sometimes what YouTube does to certain people when you swear too much in your videos and you talk all gruff and against the GOV and whatever else. They demonetize your videos or your channel. So behave. All right. So demur. No, not me. Tell the mirror. All right. So no, demur. In this case, it's to file a demur, which is to object to a legal sufficiency of a claim alleged in a pleading without admitting to or denying the truth of the facts stated. To object to a legal sufficiency of a claim. Okay, so to file demur, you're basically saying, hey, I'm not accepting it, I'm not denying it, I'm just saying I object to it. Demur. So same word, but mirror. Budweiser. All right, so demurrer, D-E-M-U-R-R-E-R. Okay, it means to wait or to stay. A pleading stating that although the facts alleged in a complaint may be true, they're insufficient for the plaintiff to state a claim for relief and for the defendant to frame an answer. In most jurisdictions, a pleading is now termed as a motion to dismiss. Okay. Moving right along. Okay, wait. All right. Jurat. As I made in the other video, jurat, okay? A certification added to an affidavit or deposition stating that and before that with what authority the affidavit or disposition was made. A juror typically says, subscribed and sworn on this day before me, blah, blah, blah. That the person signing this did it in my presence. So in other words, it's a solemn and binding oath that you're taking. This is all fact. Jurisdiction. A government's general power to exercise authority over all persons and things within its territory. A state's power to create interests that will be recognized under common law principles as valid in other states. A court's power to decide a case or issue a decree. The constitutional grant of federal question jurisdiction. All right. So, the rules of jurisdiction in a sense speak from a position outside of the court system and prescribe the authority of the courts within the system. Okay, so what do they say there? They said that the Constitution says that, okay, we're going to give you powers to do your own private thing in the corporate United States, the legal or legislative, not the judicial, because they're not. So they are at large extent constitutional rules. The provisions of the U.S. Constitution specify the outer limits of the subject matter jurisdiction of the federal courts and authorize Congress within those limits to establish by statute the organization and jurisdiction of the federal courts. Thus, Article 3 courts of the Constitution, which are the true judicial ones, and that's what it says now, defines the judicial power of the United States to include cases arising under federal law and cases between parties of diverse state citizenship as well as other categories. That means when you're acting in your proper status as a national, you can't even be in the lower courts because they're not judicial, and you are two different parties because they are 14th Amendment U.S. citizen status and you are a national. Two different parties. The states are operating within a different jurisdiction than you in your corrected status. Okay? The U.S. Constitution, particularly the Due Process Clause, also establishes limits on the jurisdiction of the state courts. These due process limits traditionally operate in two areas: jurisdiction of subject matter and jurisdiction over the person. Okay? Within each state, the court system is established by state constitutional provisions. Your state has its own constitution. That's why I said there's three different. Each state has theirs. Washington, D.C. has theirs, and we've got the Constitution of the United States, which governs over all of us, except for Washington, D.C. They kind of do their own thing because they're in a separate jurisdiction. But they're still here and governing us by our power. All right. By a combination of such provisions, the implementation legislation, which together defines the authority of the various courts, okay? Such as there's common law jurisdiction, concurrent jurisdiction. So look that up in Black Law's Dictionary if you want to find out more about that. Okay, let's go on. A plea. What is a plea? Criminal law. An accused person's formal response of guilty, not guilty, or no contest to a criminal charge. Okay, then it's got Alford plea, blind plea, cat plea, conditional plea, connected plea. This is why you guys have to get these books. So if you're going to be going to court, you know what's going on. All right. Although we do have a package that has a lot of good information in there you can study from, and will help. Guilty plea. An accused person's formal admission in court of having committed the charged offense. Now, here's the interesting part. So, a guilty plea must be made voluntarily. Did you voluntarily make the guilty plea? No, the judge did it for you. He's practicing law from the bench, and he made a legal determination, and he's not able to do so. Did you appoint him as your lawyer or attorney? No? Okay, interesting. This is some of the information I have in my packets. Okay, only after the accused has been informed of and understands his or her rights. Did they tell you what all options you have? No. And it ordinarily has the same effect as a guilty verdict and conviction after a trial. After a trial. So did all this happen before you even got a trial? Oh, wait a minute. Did you waive your right to a trial and just accept, taking a plea? Or did you push for the trial? And if you push for the trial, did you inform them that you are demanding, you are requesting, you are informing them that it must be a trial of your peers because you're a national in your correct status? Okay, but you didn't say that. So guess what? They're going to have other U.S. citizens there. Good luck finding a lot of U.S. nationals. But if you do, guarantee you'll probably get off. So, not guilty plea. Okay? The prosecution must prove all elements of a charged offense beyond all reasonable doubt. Okay? Jurisdictional plea. Challenging subject matter or personal jurisdiction over you. Okay? These are also things in my packets. This is where I'm getting them from. This is how I learned. This is how I have learned a lot. Pro se. For oneself, on one's own behalf, without a lawyer. Okay? So, one who represents oneself in court proceedings without the assistance of a lawyer, termed pro per, self-represented litigant, or pro ser a. Okay? So, which might be something that I have to do in federal district court because a lot of these federal judges aren't getting, or lawyers aren't getting back to me to take my case and other people's cases that we're working on. Okay, so standing. A party's right to make a legal claim. Okay, so normally we use what? Status. We want to change our status. Status means, do you have the right within the legal system to decide if, do you have the right within the legal system to even have a voice or to be a part of it or to exercise anything in there? That's your status. Your standing. A person's right to make a legal claim or seek judicial enforcement of a duty or a right to have standing in federal court. A plaintiff must show that the challenged conduct has caused the plaintiff actual injury and that the interest sought to be protected is within the zone of interest, meaning to be regulated by the statutory or constitutional guarantee in question. Do you have standing to be able to do this? Status, once again, a person's legal condition, legal, on paper within their jurisdiction. Condition, whether personal or proprietary, okay? The total sum of a person's legal rights, duties, liabilities, and other legal relations on any particular group of them, separated, considered. The status of a landowner. Okay. Statute. A law enacted by a legislative, a law, meaning inside of their own jurisdiction, something that they abide by. A law enacted by a legislative body, not judicial. It's not a true judgment. Enacted by a law-making body such as a legislature, administrative board, or municipal court. Jurisdiction, people. That's what I've been telling you. We got 13 minutes? All right. Sui juris. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to do it sui juris. I'm going to do it pro se. Okay. You sure you know what you're talking about? Let's take a look. Sui juris. Of full age of the majority, of full age and capacity, independent of one's own right and independence, possessing full social and civil rights, Roman law relating to or involve anyone of any age, male or female, not in the possession of another, and therefore capable of owning property and enjoying private law rights as a status. It was not relevant to the public. Okay? Sui juris. That's why I don't like when they say, oh, the only way you can do it in federal court or whatever, you got to do it in pro se. Well, sui juris. I can be here of my own free will and right. All right. Vehicle, an instrument. Oh, no, I did that one already. It's from previous video. All right. Bench warrant, a writ issued directly by a judge to a law enforcement officer. Okay, this also means within their jurisdiction. For the arrest of a person who has been held in contempt, okay, you didn't do something, or you violated something, has been indicted, has disobeyed a subpoena. You were told to come here. That's why they ask you to sign the ticket, because that is a contract. Or has failed to appear for a hearing or a trial, okay? But also, before this, you should have been challenging jurisdiction. So apparently you agreed to be there, then they issued this. But see, this is a, what do they call it, a void warrant, okay? Because first of all, a bench warrant is not judicial, okay? It's legislative. And secondly, if you signed the ticket, or you agreed, or you didn't rebut it, especially within 3 days, then yes, they can issue one of these, and it is in good standing unless you've challenged the jurisdiction, which jurisdiction can be challenged at any point in time, but you have to do it in the right time, at a time. Well, let me say, at any point in time you can challenge it, but you also need to do it the right way, okay? By issue of a demurrer or a writ, if you will. A bench warrant is used only when the defendant has already appeared at least once. So what they're saying here is that it says, in most cases, in most jurisdictions, a bench warrant is used only when the defendant has already appeared at least once. So if you appeared already once, you've agreed to go through the rest of the motions. This is why a lot of people will tell you don't go to court. If you go and you give them jurisdiction over your physical body by appearing, and you didn't let them know, I'm only here by special appearance and I don't waive my rights, this is how they get you. It's because you've been there. You were supposed to show back up. Okay? Otherwise, an arrest warrant is issued. A bench warrant is often issued by the arrest of a child support obligor who is found in contempt of court for not having paid the support obligation. Once again, that's a contract. Okay, so what is a writ? Remember, guys, I'm just getting it from Black Law's Dictionary. Number 11, deluxe edition. All right, has all the extras. All right, so a writ, a court's written order in the name of a state or other competent legal authority commanding the addressee to do or refrain from doing a specific act. Entry, a writ of entry. A writ that allows a person wrongfully disposed of real property to enter and retake the property. Okay? Writ of error. A writ issued by an appellate court directing a lower court to deliver the record in the case for review. So, if you think that they did something wrong in your case, submit a writ of error to an appellate court, to a higher court. If you ask the judge, I want to reconvey this to the higher court, an appellate court, anything above them, they're going to be like, no, we're good. We don't need to do that. No, I'm telling you, this is what we're going to do. And if you don't, I'll just file the writ for myself in this case and have it transferred and let them take a look at it. Because I guarantee you, for somebody who knows what they're doing, and I'm not saying it's necessarily me all the way across the board, if you can find somebody who's good and, how should I say, not 100% in the all hail the mighty bar, any of your situations, 99% of your situations can be gone. Unless you've done damage to a living person. Still one or two ways to get out of it, but in general, you should be self-governing in the first place. So then it goes on to talk about wrongs, a civil wrong. So you wrong civilly, okay? A violation of a non-criminal law such as a tort, a breach of contract or trust, a breach of statutory duty, or a defect in performing a public duty. The breach of a legal duty treated as the subject matter of a civil proceeding. So the cop might have done his job, but civilly he's wrong, and he's liable for a subject, and he doesn't have state immunity at that point in time. A legal wrong, a moral wrong, a personal wrong, an invasion of a personal right. They are in violation or invasion of a personal right. So that is a private wrong. Positive wrong, a wrongful act willfully committed. Private wrong, an offense committed against a private person and dealt with at the instance of the person injured. Okay? So It's got a ton: real wrong, public wrong, willful wrong, wrong of negligence. So in most times, if they're going to ever try to wrangle off the hook, okay, and this is what a lot of cops will use when they're going to trial and whatever else, I personally didn't know that was something I couldn't do. Okay? Well, if they're going to use it and you got to go to court too, and that's what you're going to do, hey, you know what, Your Honor? I personally didn't know that this was something I couldn't do. But then they might say, well, ignorance of the law is no excuse, right? Well, then that's what I would tell the cop. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You're supposed to be the example of it, okay? But here's where you can get away with it and they can't, is that you can say, well, weren't you trained in this? Weren't you trained to understand these areas? Okay, so then you had the knowledge, which means you're either ignorant or you're stupid. Either way, you're failed in your duty. And this goes for anybody in the public domain. For us, we can say, you know what, Your Honor? I'm an idiota. According to Black Law's dictionary, this means somebody not clothed in office, not in your jurisdiction, someone not knowing the legal system. So in all actuality, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm not an idiot, because an idiot means somebody who needs to possibly be medically evaluated to see if they can stand trial. Because remember, you can't prosecute idiots. An idiota means I'm just a private person. And do you have jurisdiction of the private person? All right, guys, that's about it. Thank you for staying these 21 minutes and some odd seconds. Your school day is over. Go out and have some fun. Your lunch is on me. I mean, I'm not really buying lunch, but I'm going to go get lunch because it's about that time. So you go get your lunch and pay for it, and then just believe that I am there. I got nothing. All right, so that's about it, guys. Take care of yourselves. Stay wise, stay woke, stay aware, stay warm. And don't forget to, once again, hit that bell and subscribe. If you guys see anybody using my videos and materials, report them for bullying and slandering. If they're just using it for educational information only in a positive sense, then it is what it is. Let it slide. Otherwise, don't forget to check out all the other channels, the Badwolf Media channel, also on YouTube, blacksite32.com, and either down below or on blacksite32.com. Check out the apparel. All right, find something you like. They all come in multiple different colors. And I've heard you guys, you want me to add up some new logos, some new things, so that will be coming soon. So check those out. All right. If you see something you don't like, then say, hey, yeah, I don't know about this one. It's kind of trash or whatever else, and I'll remove it. That's how it works here. I only want the good stuff. So that's it. Talk to you guys later. I got maybe one more video to make today, and then I'm out. Check you later.